Mark stared at the rain-streaked window, the gray sky mirroring the mood that had settled over his home for months. He and Sarah, his wife of 10 years, moved like ghosts in the same space, their conversations reduced to clipped sentences about bills and groceries. The warmth that once filled their house had evaporated, leaving behind a chilling silence. Where did it all go wrong? He couldn't pinpoint a single moment, just a slow, creeping distance that had wedged itself between them. That evening, seeking a flicker of the past, Mark climbed the rickety ladder to the attic. Dust motes danced in the single beam of his flashlight as he unearthed a box labeled Our Beginning. Inside were photos from their early years. There was Sarah on their first date, a brilliant, uninhibited smile lighting up her face as she laughed at one of his terrible jokes. Another photo showed them on their honeymoon, her arms wrapped around his neck, her eyes sparkling with pure joy. In every picture, her smile was the sun. He brought the box downstairs and spread the photos across the coffee table. Sarah walked in, her phone pressed to her ear, a faint, polite smile on her face as she spoke to someone. "Okay, talk soon," she murmured before hanging up. Her eyes fell on the pictures, and for a fleeting second, something flickered in them. Nostalgia, maybe even regret. But it vanished as quickly as it appeared, replaced by a familiar weariness. "What's all this?" she asked, her voice flat. "I was just remembering," Mark said softly, holding up a picture of them painting their first apartment, splattered with blue paint and grinning like fools. He looked from the radiant woman in the photo to the tired one standing before him. The smile was gone, not just in this moment, but in all the moments of their recent life. The smiles she gave now were polite masks, faint echoes of the real thing. He saw her smile more genuinely at her phone screen than at him. The thought struck him like a physical blow. When was the last time she truly smiled at him? He couldn't remember. He started paying closer attention. He noticed how her face would light up when a text came through, a secret, genuine smile gracing her lips before she quickly schooled her features. He saw her laughing softly during late-night calls she claimed were for work, the sound a painful reminder of what they'd lost. She was still capable of that beautiful smile. She just wasn't sharing it with him anymore. One evening he came home early, hoping to surprise her. He found her in the living room, laptop open, smiling that same secret smile. He quietly walked up behind her and saw a chat window open. The messages were from a name he didn't recognize. Alex. They were filled with inside jokes, compliments, and plans. "Your smile today was the highlight of my week," one message read. Mark's heart shattered. So that's where her smile had gone. She hadn't lost it. She had given it to someone else. The air crackled with a tension that was now undeniable. "Sarah!" Mark's voice was barely a whisper, but it cut through the room. She jumped, slamming the laptop shut, her face a mask of panic. "Who's Alex?" he asked, the words tasting like ash in his mouth. The silence that followed was her confession. The polite smiles, the late-night calls, the guarded phone, it all clicked into place, forming a picture of betrayal that was far uglier than any fading photograph. Tears welled in Sarah's eyes, real, painful tears. "Mark, I'm so sorry," she stammered. "I was unhappy. I felt lonely. I didn't know how to talk to you anymore. It just happened." Her words were a torrent of guilt and excuses, but all Mark could hear was the confirmation of his deepest fear. The home they had built felt like a mausoleum for a love that had died long ago. He gestured to the photos still scattered on the table. "I was looking for this," he said, his voice breaking as he pointed to her joyful smile. "I just wanted to find this again. But it wasn't lost, was it? You just packed it away and gave it to someone else." The confrontation was quiet, devastating. There was no shouting, just the raw, agonizing truth laid bare between them. He realized he hadn't just been mourning a lost smile. He had been mourning a lost connection, a lost partnership. The conversation that night was the hardest of their lives. They talked for hours, dredging up months, even years, of unspoken resentments and silent cries for help. Sarah confessed the affair had been going on for 6 months. She'd felt invisible, and Alex's attention made her feel alive again. Mark admitted he had retreated into his work, using his stress as an excuse to avoid their problems, assuming their love was strong enough to survive on autopilot. It wasn't. In the end, they were two broken people sitting amidst the wreckage of their marriage. Could they rebuild? Could he ever look at her and not see the shadow of another man? Could she ever give him her real smile again, untainted by guilt? They didn't have the answers. Mark looked at the photo of their wedding day one last time. Two young, hopeful people, smiling, completely unaware of the quiet heartbreak that lay years ahead. The path forward was uncertain, shrouded in fog. They agreed to try counseling, to attempt to find their way back, not to the people in the old photos, but to new versions of themselves who could perhaps learn to smile together again. It was a faint glimmer of hope in a sea of pain, a recognition that sometimes the most important conversations happen only after the smiles have long since faded. Thank you so much for watching. If this story resonated with you, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel for more content like this. We appreciate your support. Take care.